Lieutenant Colonel R.Z., Commanding Officer, 1st Recruit Training Battalion, will now address the audience.
General Houghton, General Dwyer, Colonel Guerin, Colonel and Mrs. Holliday, Sergeant Major Overstreet, distinguished visitors, and most importantly, the families and friends of our graduating Marines. Welcome and thank you for joining us today for this most significant event in the life of our Corps and in the lives of these young men graduating today. Since their arrival 3 months ago, the men of Company D have been referred to as private or as recruit. Never once have they been addressed as Marine. As of this moment, they have earned that title, United States Marine, by successfully meeting and completing the challenges of Marine Corps recruit training. And as their battalion commander, I am proud, delighted, and privileged to be the first to address them as Marines. Good morning, Marines.
Good morning, sir. Hoorah!
As you can tell by their response, they are just as proud. Marines, you know that Marine is much, much more than a 6-letter word. Those of us who have been entrusted with your welfare and training for the past 12 weeks have passed on an inheritance to you. And that inheritance is our proud heritage and the traditions of our beloved Corps. A tradition as rich and colorful in its history as the foundations of our great nation. And as our Marine Corps family passes on this inheritance to you, we expect you to cherish, embellish, and to treasure this great inheritance of ours. And we demand that you too pass on this great inheritance to yet another generation of Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments as you look across the great expanse of this parade deck, bear in mind that you will be seeing the living meaning of quality. Quality does not come by accident. It is the result of high intention and sincere effort. The high intention and sincere efforts of your young man to become a member of the world's finest. The high intention and sincere efforts of our hand-picked officers and drill instructors to make your young man a member of that team that wears the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. Quality is a result of intelligent direction and skillful execution. That dedication of purpose and that skillful execution and training provided by our officers and drill instructors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 12 weeks at a time. And quality is the result of making that wise choice from many alternatives. That daily choice made by your young man to simply not quit. And that wise choice made by our officers and drill instructors to take your young man and carefully mold him into this fine team. So in a few moments, as you look across the parade deck, you will be seeing the living meaning of quality. Many of you have traveled great distances in joining us today in honoring the graduating Marines of Company D. As parents and loved ones, certainly you share in their pride, their joy, and their sense of accomplishment. Their basic values, the character, the moral fiber that you inculcated in your young man were indeed instrumental to his success here in recruit training. We thank you for your contribution, your sacrifices, and your presence here today. To the families of our officers and drill instructors, almost once a month I stand out here and speak boldly of this great quality of ours. I could not do that without your support. Indeed, your sacrifices, your support, your contributions to your husbands allow us to have this great quality. I thank you for your contributions. To all of our guests, have a wonderful Marine Corps Day. To the graduating Marines of Company D and your families, once again, my congratulations and my warmest introduction into our Marine Corps family. Good luck, Godspeed, and Semper Fidelis.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Marine Corps Recruit Depot and the graduation parade of Company D.
Positional staff.
Down. Over. Out.
Following the pass and review, the graduating Marines will return front and center of the reviewing stand for final dismissal. The regimental staff for today's parade is comprised of Marines from the Support Battalion of the Recruit Training Regiment. The commanding officer of troops is First Sergeant W.C. Hardwick. The parade adjutant is Staff Sergeant P. Diaz. More than 400 graduating Marines are marching in today's parade. For the Marines of Company D, this marks the end of the 12-week recruit training cycle. These young men have qualified with the M16 rifle and received more than 200 hours of academic instruction. They have marched countless miles at Camp Pendleton and this parade deck, and have been trained, as are all Marines, as basic riflemen. In addition, due to an intensive physical training program, their strength and endurance have doubled since their arrival aboard the recruit depot. Today, they are Marines qualified to take their places in the ranks of the world's finest fighting organization. The platoons are now being aligned from left to right in order to get them into their exact positions for the parade. Marines have been stationed at the recruit depot since 1921, when most of the buildings to your front were constructed. More than 1 million Marines have been trained here in the past 70 years and have departed San Diego for combat in conflicts around the world, including places whose names are immediately associated with Marine courage and dedication. Names such as Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Iwo Jima, Pusan, Incheon, Quezon, Way City, Lebanon, Grenada, Panama, and the liberation of Kuwait. This parade deck is rich in history and tradition and no Marine trained here ever forgets its sights and sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. Following the command parade rest, the parade adjutant will give the command sound off, which signals the band to parade forward of the assembled Marines while playing march music. At the Command Officers Center March, all unit commanders and guidon bearers march to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that commanding officers would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit leaders would face about, return to their units, and pass the information along to their Marines. Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. Many who have helped shape our history join us here today. In keeping with the tradition, once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. We ask that those men and women in the audience that are former Marines please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in showing our appreciation for their dedicated service to Corps and country. Thank you. Please be seated. Now taking his position in the reviewing area is Sergeant Major Harold G. Overstreet, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. He is accompanied by Colonel J.M.D. Holliday, Commanding Officer, Recruit Training Regiment, and Sergeant Major Anthony Reese, Sergeant Major of Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. Sergeant Major Overstreet was born in Houston, Texas in December 1944. He entered the Marine Corps in June 1966 and completed recruit training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. Sergeant Major Overstreet's past duty assignments have included 1st Military Police Battalion, 3rd Marine Division, Republic of Vietnam, Infantry Training Regiment, Camp Pendleton, California, Inspector Instructor Staff, Wichita, Kansas, recruiting duty in Des Moines, Iowa, and Detroit, Michigan, Drill Instructor, Senior Drill Instructor, and Series Gunnery Sergeant, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. Chief Drill Instructor, Drill Master, and Chief Instructor, Drill Instructor School, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. Company First Sergeant, Headquarters and Service Company, 9th Engineer Battalion, Okinawa, Japan. Company First Sergeant of both Bravo and Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, 29 Palms, California. Inspector Sergeant Major, Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, 29 Palms. Battalion and Regimental Sergeant Major, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. Regimental Sergeant Major, 6th Marine Regiment, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Regimental Sergeant Major, 12th Marine Regiment, Okinawa, Japan. Sergeant Major, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Western Recruiting Region, San Diego, California. Sergeant Major Overstreet was selected as the 12th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps in April 1991 and assumed the post on July 1st, 1991. Sergeant Major Overstreet's personal decorations include the Meritorious Service Medal, the Navy Commendation Medal, the Navy Achievement Medal, and the Combat Action Ribbon. Sergeant Major Overstreet is married to the former Jeannie Miller of Plainview, Texas. They have one son, Jared. The Commanding General, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, would like to welcome the Sergeants Major from the Western Recruiting Region, the 12th Defense Battalion of World War II, the 5th Amtrak Battalion of World War II, and the 12th Reserve Officers Class, whose officers were commissioned 50 years ago and have come from all over the country to be here today. They participated in many major combat operations of World War II, including Saipan, Tinian, Guam, Bougainville, Camp Gloucester, Peleliu, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa, as well as operations in Korea and Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, as the national flag passes directly in front of you, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Commanding Officer of Troops, First Sergeant W.C. Hardwick, and the regimental staff. The Marine Corps Recruit Depot Band, conducted by Gunnery Sergeant Stephen R. Schweitzer, Drum Major, Staff Sergeant Thomas G. Miller. The Series Commander for the 1049 Series is Staff Sergeant Antonio Padilla. Sergeant Terry L. Jones in Platoon 1049. Staff Sergeant Billy J. Morgan in Platoon 1050. Staff Sergeant Albert A. Silva in Platoon 1051. The Series Commander for the 1053 Series is Gunnery Sergeant Calvin D. Salisbury. Sergeant Eduardo Morales in Platoon 1053. Sergeant Mickey J. Arps in Platoon 1054. Staff Sergeant Ricky D. James in Platoon 1055. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we would like to introduce to you the Marines responsible for ensuring the success of the difficult transition required to become a Marine. We request that the audience hold their applause until all of these Marines have been introduced. If you would look towards the center and to the front of the reviewing stand, the company commander is Captain Scott J. Fazekas from Stuttgart, Germany. The company first sergeant is First Sergeant Wally C. Hardwick from Newark, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your left front, the series commander for the 1049 series is Captain Andrew H. Smith from Kaneohe, Hawaii. The assistant series commander is First Lieutenant John A. Geisler from Jamestown, New York. The series chief drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Antonio Padilla from Nogales, Arizona. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1049 is Sergeant Terry L. Jones from Mobile, Alabama. He is assisted by Sergeant Darren D. Smith from Inglewood, California, Sergeant Christopher W. Holland from Wichita Falls, Texas, and Sergeant Mathis B. Richard from Lafayette, Louisiana. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1050 is Staff Sergeant Billy J. Morgan from Fort Payne, Alabama. He is assisted by Sergeant Craig A. Meyer from Delta, Colorado, Sergeant Felix E. Arce from Vineland, New Jersey, and Sergeant Alfonso Vasquez from San Diego, California. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1051 is Staff Sergeant Albert A. Silva from Palmer, Massachusetts. He is assisted by Staff Sergeant John E. Duran from Merced, California, and Sergeant James F. Laranaga from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your right front, the series commander for the 1053 series is Captain Thomas W. Flynn from Glen Rock, New Jersey. The series chief drill instructor is Gunnery Sergeant Calvin D. Salisbury from Memphis, Tennessee. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1053 is Sergeant Eduardo Morales from Mercedes, Texas. He is assisted by Sergeant James Jason from Long Island, New York, Sergeant Stephen E. Sprout from Normal, Illinois, Sergeant Jimmy Cortez from Deming, New Mexico, and Sergeant Lauren R. Irwin from Marysville, California. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1054 is Sergeant Mickey J. Arps from Springfield, Missouri. He is assisted by Sergeant Mark W. Midlam from Dayton, Ohio, Sergeant John J. Reynolds from West Covina, California, Sergeant Russell D. Lucero from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Sergeant Ian V. Hamilton from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And the senior drill instructor for Platoon 1055 is Staff Sergeant Ricky D. James from Lacine, Kansas. He is assisted by Staff Sergeant Edward Flowers from Little Rock, Arkansas, Staff Sergeant Joe Vielma from Manteca, California, and Sergeant Jeffrey D. Hinton from Richton, Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines of Company D. At this time, we would like to recognize those Marines who obtained the highest rifle qualification scores within their respective platoons. Rifle qualification consists of firing 50 rounds from ranges of 200, 300, and 500 meters for a possible score of 250 points. Please hold your applause until all the high shooters have been introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your left front, the high shooter from Platoon 1049 is Private Creston P. Foy from New Orleans, Louisiana, with a score of 235 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1050 is Private First Class Ryan T. Dance from Pocatello, Idaho, with a score of 241 points. Private First Class Dance is also the company high shooter. The high shooter from Platoon 1051 is Private First Class Kevin O. Christensen from Wauconda, Illinois, with a score of 237 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1053 is Private Clay A. Allison from Paris, Texas, with a score of 235 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1054 is Private Justin J. Smith from South Nampa, Idaho, with a score of 233 points. And the high shooter from Platoon 1055 is Private First Class Brandon Johnson from Lebanon, Missouri, with a score of 235 points. Private First Class Johnson is also the series high shooter. Ladies and gentlemen, the high shooters of Company D. The next group to be recognized are those men who have excelled in physical fitness. The Marine Corps Physical Fitness Test consists of 3 events: pull-ups, sit-ups, and a timed 3-mile run. It is possible to score 100 points in each event for a perfect score of 300 points. To achieve a perfect score, a Marine must accomplish 20 pull-ups, 80 sit-ups in 2 minutes, and the 3-mile run in 18 minutes or less. Please hold your applause until all the most physically fit Marines have been introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your left front. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1049 is Private First Class Jeremy J. Preister from Lindsay, Nebraska. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1050 is Private First Class Paul E. Strunk from Camas, Washington. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1051 is Private First Class Jaime J. Malgoza from Stowell, Texas. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1053 is Private First Class Marcos Estrada from Maryville, Indiana. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1054 is Private First Class Corey J. Sislov from Moreno Valley, California. And the most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1055 is Private First Class Michael W. Feaster from Warsaw, Indiana. Private First Class Feaster is also designated the company's most physically fit Marine by virtue of performing 35 pull-ups, 104 sit-ups, and the 3-mile run in 17 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the most physically fit Marines of Company D. The next portion of the ceremony will be the traditional function of retiring the Guidons. These Guidons have been carried by the platoons throughout recruit training and are being retired to symbolize the disbanding of platoons. All similar units in the Marine Corps carry such Guidons, which identify the unit and are a source of pride to each individual member. Note that the honor of carrying these Guidons is bestowed upon those Marines who displayed outstanding leadership qualities, motivation, and enthusiasm, and were selected as the platoon honor men. Guidons will now be returned to the drill instructors. The men standing before you are the platoon honor men. The honor man is recognized as being the most outstanding Marine in his platoon. The honor men are recognized for demonstrating the highest qualities of leadership, discipline, academic proficiency, and military bearing. The platoon honor men compete for the title of company and series honor man. The company and series honor men are considered the top men graduating today and have demonstrated the highest potential for future leadership and responsibility in the Marine Corps. The company honor man is presented a certificate of commendation from the commanding general. The series honor man is presented a certificate of commendation from the commanding officer of the recruit training regiment. And platoon honor men are presented certificates of commendation from the commanding officer of 1st Recruit Training Battalion. In addition, each honor man is presented a plaque from Leatherneck Magazine, a magazine for and about Marines. The company honor man will also receive a plaque from the Navy League in recognition of his being the top Marine graduating today. The honor men will be presented their plaques by the commanding officer of 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel R.Z., assisted by the Battalion Sergeant Major, Sergeant Major S.D. Bush. Ladies and gentlemen, please hold your applause until all the honor men have been introduced. The honor man from Platoon 1049 is Private First Class Robert J. Sosa from Wharton, Texas. He was recruited by Staff Sergeant R. Schultz from Recruiting Substation, Houston, Texas. The honor man from Platoon 1050 is Private First Class David M. Foster from San Diego, California. He was recruited by Staff Sergeant A. Lund from Recruiting Substation, Poway, California. Private First Class Foster is also the company honor man and the top man graduating today. The honor man from Platoon 1051 is Private First Class Jaime J. Melgoza from Stowell, Texas. He was recruited by Staff Sergeant D.A. Morgan from Recruiting Substation, Grand Island, Nebraska. The honor man from Platoon 1053 is Private First Class Edward Gonzalez from North Lake, Illinois. He was recruited by Sergeant R.R. Hinton from Recruiting Substation, Chicago, Illinois. The honor man from Platoon 1054 is Private First Class Edward S. Gonzalez from San Diego, California. He was recruited by Staff Sergeant E.T. Williams from Recruiting Substation, Claremont, California. And the honor man from Platoon 1055 is Private First Class Shane M. Gaddis from Detroit, Michigan. He was recruited by Sergeant J.A. Adams from Recruiting Substation, Pontiac, Michigan. Private First Class Gaddis is also Series Honor Man and the top man graduating in his series. Ladies and gentlemen, the honor men of Company D.
Company first order, sir.
Take charge and dismiss the company.
Aye, sir.
The Marines' hymn is the oldest of the official songs of the armed services, with words dating back to the 19th century. The music was first performed in November 1859. Marines always get on their feet when it is sung or played. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines' hymn. The senior drill instructors will now dismiss their platoons. This will be the last order the new Marines will receive from their drill instructors, and probably the most welcome order they have received while in boot camp.
Infantry.
I am Marine Corps Infantry.
Hey, Navy.
Hey, Navy.
Hey, Navy.
Hey, Navy.
Get off your ships and follow me.
Get off your ships and follow me.
I am Marine Corps Infantry.
I am Marine Corps Infantry.
Hey, Air Force.
Hey, Air Force.
Hey, Air Force.
Hey, Air Force.
Get off your planes and follow me.
Get off your planes and follow me.
I am Marine Corps Infantry.
I am Marine Corps Infantry.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh three.
Oh three.
Oh three.
Oh three.
It's what we want.
What we want.
To be.
To be.
Infantry.
Infantry.
Give me more.
Give me more.
Give me more.
Give me more.
Give me that old Marine Corps spirit.
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 'Cause it's good enough for me.
'Cause it's good enough for me.
It was good for Chesty Puller.
It was good for Chesty Puller.
It was good for old Dan Daly.
It was good for old Dan Daly.
It was good for the first sergeant.
It was good for the first sergeant.
And it's good enough for me.
And it's good enough for me.
Now give me that old Marine Corps spirit.
Give me that old Marine Corps spirit.
Now give me that old Marine Corps spirit.
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 'Cause it's good enough for me.
'Cause it's good enough for me.
It was good for company commander.
It was good for the company commander.
It was good for the series commander.
It was good for the series commander.
It was good for the senior drill instructor.
It was good for the senior drill instructor.
And it's good enough for me.
And it's good enough for me.
Hey, all right, Leo.
All right, Leo.
Hey, all right, Leo.
All right, Leo.
All right, Leo.
All right, Leo.
I love to Leo.
Left, right, Leo.
Hey, all right, Leo.
All right, Leo.
We love to double time.
We love to double time.
When I say motivated, you say dedicated.
When I say motivated, you say dedicated.
I'm motivated.
Dedicated.
I'm motivated.
Dedicated.
I say dedicated, you say motivated.
I say dedicated, you say motivated.
Dedicated.
Motivated.
Dedicated.
Motivated.
To the core.
To the core.
To the core.
To the core.
Every day.
Every day.
All day.
All day.
Every day.
Every day.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Up front.
Up front.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
In the middle.
In the middle.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
In the rear.
In the rear.
Up from a sub 60 feet below.
Up from a sub 60 feet below.
I hit the surface and I'm ready to go.
I hit the surface and I'm ready to go.
A side stroke, backstroke, I swim to the shore.
Side stroke, backstroke, swim to the shore.
I hit the beach and I'm ready for war.
I hit the beach and I'm ready for war.
M16 and cable by my side.
M16 and keep 'em on my side.
These are the tools which make men die.
These are the tools that make men die.
So pump it up.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Hey, oh, right, Leo.
Low right, Leo.
Lefty, right, Leo.
Lefty right, Leo.
Hey, oh, right, Leo.
Low right, Leo.
Left, right, Leo.
Left, right, Leo.
Hey, oh, right, Leo.
Low right, Leo.
We love to double time.
We love to double time.
We do it all the time.
We do it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
There we go.
Get louder.
Get louder.
Get prouder.
Get prouder.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Drill instructor, won't you come on out?
Drill instructor, won't you come on out?
Let us hear you scream and shout.
Let us hear you scream and shout.
I take it on the left foot.
Take it on the left foot.
A mighty, mighty left foot.
Mighty, mighty left foot.
A motivated left foot.
Motivated left foot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Take it.
Take it.
I got it.
I got it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
On the run.
On the run.
On the run.
On the run.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Pump it quit.
Gotta quit.
I gotta quit.
Gotta quit.
7 miles.
7 miles.
I'm passing out.
Pass it out.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
A boot camp.
Boot camp.
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
A boot camp.
Boot camp.
That's us.
That's us.
That's us.
That's us.
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
Boot camp.
Boot camp.
We're the best.
We're the best.
Forget the rest.
Forget the rest.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Feeling fine.
Feeling fine.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Easy run.
Easy run.
Easy run.
Easy run.
No, 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 yo.
No run, Leo.
No, 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 yo.
No run, Leo.
No, 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 yo.
No run, Leo.
Lefty right, Leo.
Lefty right, Leo.
No, 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 Leo.
No run, Leo.
Left the double time.
Left the double time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
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 More motivated.
More motivated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
To the core.
To the core.
To the core.
To the core.
Drill instructor, come on out.
Drill instructor, come on out.
Let us hear your motivating shout.
Let us hear your motivating shout.
Take it on the left foot.
Take it on the left foot.
Mighty, mighty left foot.
Mighty, mighty left foot.
Take it on the left foot.
Take it on the left foot.
Take it on the left.
Take it on the left.
Take it.
Take it.
I got it.
I got it.
I